What happens when a pop superstar who once ruled the world says her grain was damaged? Britney Spears recently opened up on Instagram in a way fans have never seen before. She reflected on a dark chapter of her life, a 4-month stint in rehab back in 2018, and dropped a shocking line. "I do feel like my wings were taken away and brain damage happened to me 100%. But it doesn't stop there. This revelation comes at a tense moment, right as her ex-husband KevinFederline's memoir hits the shelves. Fans are left wondering, is Britney reclaiming her story or responding to someone else telling it for her? And behind her poetic words about wings and Maleficent, there's a deeper story, one of confinement, struggle, and a fight to move forward. Her post is more than a reflection. It's a window into the hidden pain, the resilience, and the strength of a woman who has survived more than most could imagine. And yet, even as she claims she has moved on, the echoes of that trauma still linger in ways that are startling, personal, and impossible to ignore. Rewind 2018. Britney Spears was living under a conservatorship, and her world felt completely out of control. For 4 long months, she was sent to a rehab facility, a place she later described as restrictive, isolating, and at times deeply humiliating. In her Instagram post, she revealed just how extreme it was. She wasn't allowed to use her feet or move her body freely, couldn't close her private door, and had to follow a rigid schedule, including giving blood weekly and having barely an hour of TV before a 9 p.m. bedtime. Imagine being someone who spent decades performing, dancing, and living in the spotlight, and suddenly being stripped of even the simplest freedoms. Britney says it wasn't just her body that suffered. The experience left scars that ran deeper than anyone could see. She wrote, "It did more than hurt my body. Trust me, there's a lot I didn't share in my book, things I've kept hidden because they're incredibly painful and sad." This wasn't just rehab. To Britney, it was a period where her autonomy and voice were erased, leaving her struggling to reconnect with her own sense of self. The confinement and forced control would later ripple through her physical and mental state, shaping her reflections in ways fans are only beginning to fully grasp. Britney didn't just share facts about her rehab, she shared how it felt, and she used the story most of us know, Maleficent. In her Instagram post, she compared her shoulder blades to wings and drew parallels between herself and the movie's heroine. Maleficent's wings were taken, hidden, and locked away, but eventually she reclaimed them. Britney saw herself in that journey. She wrote, "I do feel like my wings were taken away and brain damage happened to me a long time ago. Not one person could say they were restored." The imagery is striking. Wings as freedom, as power, as something sacred that can be taken away, yet never truly destroyed. Even amid hardship, there's hope that wings can return, and with them, the ability to soar again. Through this metaphor, Britney is inviting fans to understand more than her physical or legal struggles. She's revealing the emotional and spiritual weight of losing control, of having her body and her freedom restricted, and of fighting to reconnect with the parts of herself that were hidden or suppressed. It's a lens that turns a personal trauma into something almost mythical, a story of loss, resilience, and the slow path back to her own power. The words brain damage caught everyone off guard. Britney didn't shy away from describing the lasting impact of that period, not just emotionally, but physically. She revealed that during those months, she couldn't dance or move for 5 long months, a staggering claim for someone whose career was built on movement, rhythm, and performance. She also reflected on the strength she once had. Britney recalled swimming with her sons Jaden and Sean on her back until they were 4 and 5 years old, a feat of both physical and emotional endurance. Now she says she hasn't flown like that in years. The contrast is jarring, from someone who could literally carry her children and perform on the world's biggest stages to a body that had been constrained, controlled, and traumatized. This revelation adds another layer to what fans already knew about her struggles. The rehab wasn't just a chapter in her conservatorship saga. It left a visible imprint on her mind and body. Every movement, every moment of regained freedom carries the weight of what she endured. And even as she says she's moved on, the echoes of that time still resonate, reminding the world that trauma can linger in ways that aren't always visible, but are deeply felt. Despite everything, Britney makes it clear she has moved on. She has, of course, moved on from that troubling time in my life, and I'm blessed to be alive. Those words carry a quiet strength, a resilience that has been hard-won after years of struggle under public scrutiny and legal control. Moving on for Britney doesn't mean forgetting. Her metaphor of wings, her reflections on physical strength, and the hidden pain she still carries all show that healing is a process. She's reclaiming her story, finding her voice, and reconnecting with the freedoms that were once stripped away. At the same time, she acknowledges that some wounds remain. She hasn't danced like she used to, hasn't fully flown again, and continues to carry memories that are painful and deeply personal. Yet there's empowerment in her words. Britney isn't asking for pity or validation. She's showing the world that survival, self-discovery, and reclaiming autonomy are possible even after enduring experiences that would break most people. Her journey forward is a message of hope that no matter how much of your wings have taken, it's possible to rise again. Britney Spears' story is more than tabloid headlines or Instagram posts. It's a journey through control, trauma, and the fight to reclaim herself. From being confined in rehab and stripped of her freedom to feeling like her very mind and body were damaged, she has endured more than most could imagine. And yet, through it all, she continues to rise. Her wings may have been taken, hidden, or damaged, but she's showing the world that they can be restored, even if slowly and even if the process leaves scars. Moving on doesn't erase the past. It transforms it into resilience, courage, and the power to define her own story. As fans, we're left to wonder, what does true freedom look like after such a struggle? Can wings that were once clipped ever truly take flight again? Britney's journey reminds us that even in the face of unimaginable obstacles, reclaiming your life, your voice, and your strength is possible, and that every act of survival is a triumph in itself.